Hello, everyone, and welcome to your week ahead energy reading. I am recording this within that 12-hour period of leading up to the full moon solar eclipse in Aries, which is happening tonight, Australian time, early morning. Other parts of the world, this week has been a lot. I've actually just recorded a video to share on Instagram about a realization I had this week around resisting the chaos and other people's wounds and triggers that were coming up around me, and needing to step into those waves, step out beyond those waves, just like that message that came through a couple of weeks ago, but recognizing that I was meeting that with resistance within my own immediate community and circle. So that was really powerful. As a result of that energy being present, this week has been chaotic for me. I've had very little time to sit with my own energy and truly feel grounded in that. And that seemed like a lesson in itself that's going to be really, really important in the coming days and weeks as we navigate all that has been triggered by this eclipse portal and all that is to come. We have Neptune moving into Aries in a couple of days' time too, which is also very significant. First time in, I think it's 164 years. This solar eclipse is actually the last eclipse of the Libra Aries eclipse cycle, and it's a good opportunity to look back over the last 18 months to 2 years and recognize what has changed within your life, what has changed within you, what have you released, how have you grown, because this is the end of that chapter, and it certainly feels like a beginning of a new chapter, not just on that kind of time scale, but actually the beginning of a much bigger chapter on really the humanity scale. So I want to just dive in. I haven't done a channeled message this week, and that is because I don't feel that I've been connected enough to my energy this week to be able to then channel someone else's energy. So the intention of this is to get grounded in my own energy, just done a bit of meditation, shuffled the cards, spent some time reflecting on the energy, but let's see what wants to come through. I'm going to start with my Sacred Symbols Oracle deck, and I'm also going to use the pocket archetypes. I felt a fair bit of feminine energy shift in the last few days too. So I do have my Priestess of Light book here, which light cards here, which drew my attention. But at this stage, I'm feeling like that's going to round out the message at the end. Messages for the Mind, Body, Soul Transformation Collective for the week ahead. What do we need to know? Messages that are of the light and the best and highest good. Spiritual cleansing. Release. Affluence, jealousy, home, air at the bottom of the deck. Actually, because spiritual cleansing came out, I'm going to take a moment. I have cleansed with my chimes and bells, but I'm actually just going to take a moment to also cleanse with my Palo Santo. Okay, with spiritual cleansing coming out, and I want to show you the visualization. To me, this speaks to kind of that energy that we are just talking about. What do you need to do to stay grounded in your own energy right now? There may be some processes like using Palo Santo, like using some sound clearing, possibly even some intention setting and prayer like I've just done, to reset this space of asking any energy that is not of the light, that is in your energy field, that is attached to you or your experience in any way, to leave, sending it back to source with love and light, and welcoming in any supportive energies that are of the light, any guidance, any messages, any connections that are here to support you at this time as we step into what really is this energy of release. We're ending up this eclipse season. Usually with a new moon, we set intentions and really be mindful and intentional with what we are wanting to call in. An eclipse is not the energy for that. Yes, we're going to call in new beginnings with this, but it's more about those fated beginnings, more about those beginnings that are in alignment with our soul's path and purpose, which also means releasing anything that is no longer in alignment with that path that we're stepping onto the other side of this eclipse portal. And then I've got affluence, jealousy, and home. Now I was seeing the jealousy card when I was shuffling, and the message I was getting then was much more about the symbol, which reminds me of the evil eye symbol, which also is about spiritual cleansing. Like, how can we be protecting ourselves from the energy around us right now and making sure it is not influencing our ability to stay grounded and connected with ourselves. It may be that there are also areas that you need to look at that are related to jealousy that's popping up for you or popping up around you, that may have to do with finances, homes, physical belongings. I'm getting kind of the message that that is part of what we are releasing through this eclipse portal, our needing to surrender and release the idea that there are things we're meant to have in life, and that unless we have those things, we aren't safe, we're not successful. That real connection with what maybe we have grown up to or been conditioned to want for, or not even want for, need for, like this constant quest to have the home, the money, the savings account, the retirement fund, whatever it might be. Those things that maybe even make you look at other people and feel jealous of them, like want for that aspect of life. It's like this eclipse is kind of shifting that for us, shifting our focus. And it may be, I just got chills as I said that. It may be that there are events that force us to look at this or force us to surrender. So many chills. Force us to surrender the idea of control around these things, the idea that we can control these things, and what's just come through, the idea that these things control us. All right, I'm going to leave that there for now. I am going to go to the pocket archetypes, which I have used a bit recently. Feels like the right kind of energy for the eclipse portal. Just see if there's any other messages that want to come through. The ring. Oh. Two more fell on the ground. The riddle at the bottom of the deck. The mystic. I feel like we had the ring and we definitely had the next card. So we've got the ring. Anima Mundi, which we had maybe 2 readings ago, and the mystic, which we haven't had. The moth butterfly drew my attention, like that transformation energy with the fire in the middle, phoenix kind of energy. What's also drawing my energy is we've got 2 eyes here too, along with 2 eyes here. The phrase, we're seeing things differently, is what's coming to mind. I might just clarify that with some tarot before we actually even dive into these cards anymore. What do you mean we're seeing things differently? I'm also noticing the Eye of Horus and the Sacred Symbol Oracle deck. What are we seeing differently, Spirit? Ace of Cups. Love. Shift in focus away from, yeah. Holy moly. Okay. We're seeing what we want differently. Our focus is shifting from material assets and hoarding of wealth to love. And I've been really feeling in the last 12 hours, maybe 12 to 24 hours, like this total opening of my heart chakra, this leaning into this feminine heart-led energy, creativity, sensuality. Again, so many chills as I say that, which is why I've got the Priestess of Light deck out. Right, I'm going to put that to the side, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Things are turning, things are changing. Let's have a look at these cards. The Ring card is on page 222, which I've been seeing a lot of that angel number, to the point where I might look that up in a second. But let's just see what the message here for this card is. Definitely have a look at these visuals on these cards if you safe to do so right now, not listening to this while driving or something, because there will be messages in the visual for you specifically. The Ring, the Infinite, the Wheel, which we just had the wheel card at the bottom of the tarot, the Connection. The Ring is an image of connectedness. Rather than viewing life as linear, as a series of progressive achievements, the Ring challenges us to sense the cyclical, infinite nature of our world and experiences. Beginnings and endings fall by the wayside as we practice seeing ourselves as part of the cosmic circular tree of creation. For this reason, it is no surprise a ring is worn on the finger to represent eternal love that surpasses space, time, and worldly things. So much can be projected onto this archetypal image because it mimics the Earth's orbit around our great sun and the intimate bond between two lovers. It is the micro and macro united. This card calls us to deepen connection with self, other, and the world at large. Meanwhile, there may be a literal ring waiting to adorn your finger, especially with the Ace of Cups coming in. That is absolutely possible. The other thing I'd say around that message just there, and that cycle and union of masculine and feminine, is I feel like, and I've heard this week, that this eclipse portal has been that tipping point of where we have across the collective balanced out that masculine and feminine energy, that where we've been sitting with an imbalance between masculine energy and feminine energy, we've reached that balance right now. And it's really, as I said, I've had that feminine energy coming in so strongly over the last 12 hours. It's really that feminine energy finding their new way forward. And I've also been hearing a lot about not just the typical feminine energy that we think about of heart-centered creativity, love, connection, sensuality, but also that feminine warrior spirit and what that looks like in this timeline. All right, a quick refresher on the Enema Mundi card, which I've just opened right to that page, which is interesting. Anima Mundi is the soul of the world, all that is. It epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate, which fits with that union message from the Ring, into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how its light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. And lastly, the mystic, the seeker, the light worker, the dreamer. The mystic is often misunderstood in our culture, depicted as wandering or light-hearted daydreamer. Yet, like Shiva, the true mystic plays a critical role in society, remaining fearlessly dedicated to the path of transformation. In order to save the earth from darkness, Shiva swallows the poison of the world and holds it in his throat, slowly transmuting the liquid into nectar. This is the work of the mystic. They do not fear darkness, but rather sit in the presence of it, harness the potential and latent energy behind it, and embed it with the light. They are patient and prudent change makers, seeking growth above all else. Unanswerable questions are the mystic's lifeblood. The mystic revels in mystery, in the great riddle, which we've got the riddle card at the bottom of the other deck, of life, dancing with the forces of light and dark upon its wings. I'm just going to read the part that really shot energy through my whole body again and then speak to it. In order to save Earth from darkness, Shiva swallows the poison of the world and holds it in his throat, slowly transmuting the liquid into nectar. This is the work of the mystic. They do not fear darkness, but rather sit in the presence of it, harness the potential with latent energy behind it, and embed it with light. I'm not going to go into it. It's over on Instagram, but I've just recorded a video speaking to that message coming through for me this week, that I was resisting the chaos and darkness in other people this week because I didn't want to get drawn into it. And I got the message of, if you want to walk this path of, well, really at that point, and I guess this is the same message, of being a healer, being a guide, being a priestess, then you need to bring that energy into all that you are witnessing and connecting with around you. And that's the message that I'm getting from this. If we really want to bring light into the world, create heaven on earth, really capitalize on the potential of this eclipse that is happening today, we need to be willing to sit with the darkness and alchemize it into light. We cannot be resisting it, be that the darkness within us, our own shadows, lots of shadows and triggers coming up for people this week, including for me, but also those around us. Spiritual bypassing is exactly what we're not meant to be doing right now. We need to surrender to being present with the energy that is at play around us and intentionally sit with it to alchemize it into light. And that will be a heart-led process where we've got a balance of the divine masculine and feminine parts of ourselves, and where rather than just fighting that through that masculine warrior energy or resisting it, we're embodying both parts of that self to alchemize it into light. And I'm just getting that that's going to look different across every aspect of our lives on the collective and individual level right now. And so that's why it's so important to stay grounded with yourself as you navigate what is to come, what is already in front of you, and follow that soul guidance of what is the next best step. What is the next right step? What is the next highest step? Okay, tarot next. What are we at? Messages for the Mind Body Soul Transformation Collective that are of the best and highest good. Messages that are of the light for the week ahead. Thank you, Spirit. That's two cards. A star at the bottom of the deck, healing, Aquarius energy. The wheel came out. That wheel card feels really significant. This is it's even got moons on it, look. And a snake. This is a turning point. are stepping into a new cycle, a release of what came before that no longer serves. So many chills. And a creation of something new. I've just noticed the split of the cards with this in the middle. We've got Queen of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, the Wheel, Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. So I just really think we're walking away from, we're releasing the way we've gone about things, the focus of the past. Queen of Swords here, especially with the Ace of Cups coming out before it, like if this was about what we were stepping into, I'd expect this card to be the Queen of Cups. So I'm getting that this is what we are releasing or not releasing. This part of ourselves also needs to come with us. She makes part of our Empress energy. But we can't just be in the mental anymore, in the mind, in the intellectualizing of what is happening around us. We need to surrender to the mystic within us, the unseen parts of ourselves. This is really, it's a new day. And it's a new day, and that means surrendering to the fact that what we're stepping into, the other side of this eclipse portal, is significantly different to what we have experienced up to this point. That the song that's coming into my head is, it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. But I also got something about the world just then, like it's a new world we are stepping into, and we're going to have to create it. We're going to have to put the work in and nurture what we want that to look like, from the ideas we get by being connected with our selves, with our intuition, with our soul guidance. I'm going to have a look in the book. For the Page of Pentacles card, I'm getting this real sense of like offering up the past. It's not the typical definition of Page of Pentacles necessarily, but just going to see what they've said about the image they've got there, because it doesn't talk about offering up, but that's a message that's coming through for me. So that is part of the message, but I want to just read part of this. She looks up at the glowing pentacle she holds in her hand. The plants and trees signify abundance, while the mountains in the distance allude to difficulties which may be faced in the future. The Page of Pentacles symbolizes new beginnings in the material world. Creating what you want will take focus and the ability to work hard, both of which you possess. Now is time to start bringing your dreams into fruition and manifesting your heart's desires. The focus is different. So I've got this card one side of the wheel, these two cards the other side of the wheel for pentacle cards, and I can't not look at this card right now and think we're offering up what used to be important to us from a physical asset, financial abundance, all of that point of view. We are offering that up, we are releasing that, we're walking away with the Eight of Cups, and we're stepping into a new creation. This is truly a moment of release, surrender, and a rebuild. I'm sure I necessarily need to clarify anything there, Spirit, but is there any other messages you would like us to know about that energy? The snake on that wheel card keeps drawing my attention too. So maybe I will just see if there's anything about that. It is the year of the wood snake, and snakes definitely signify transformation. Three of Wands, Ace of Swords, that's a lot. Ace of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Judgment, and the Tower. The Devil at the bottom of the deck. To me, the Ace of Swords is a yes. You're on the right track. We're releasing, holding on to the pentacle, what represents the pentacle energy in our current world, which is what the Four of Pentacles is all about, is like holding on to, gripping onto that part of our lives. I've got the Three of Wands here, which to me just speaks to waiting for this to come in, that there is energy incoming, that this is the energy incoming. And then it's the Judgment and the Tower. The phrase that keeps coming to my head and giving me chills every time I think about it is, this is Judgment Day. We influence what happens today. And I mean today. How we choose to turn up, what we choose to release, surrender, and build new will be the path, the timeline that we are on. Have we done, the phrase that's coming to mind is, have we done the work we needed to do for this day, for this Judgment Day? Gosh, I hope we have. So many chills. I think it's really important for those of us that have the awareness of this, that we are very mindful of our energy over the next 24 to 48 hours, and definitely through the rebuild of this. I just can't help to think at all that I've seen around me this week. And then when I ask the question and look at that, are we ready for this? There hasn't been a lot that's told me that we are. But then I know from other beautiful conversations I've had this week through the virtual community, through this network of light workers, healers, people doing this work, that shift has come. Like, we're at that tipping point. And if we can be really mindful of our energy this week, may that be what we needed to do to bring about this new beginning, this new earth, this shift, this wheel. They've been saying, everything I've said about this new moon eclipse has been that this was the eclipse of our lifetime. And again, chills as I say that. It is. Today is Judgment Day. All right, I'm going to just pull a couple of cards to wrap up our message from the Priestess of the Light deck, since we need to be shining our light right now, and see what messages we have as advice for what we need to be doing in response to the energy this week. Messages of the light. Guidance on how best to use our light this week to support this shift, transition. Ace of Cups is drawing my attention, really staying in your heart energy. Duality, many meanings, misunderstanding. That was Death and Rebirth, Darkness to Light. I'll show you the card soon. There's a couple of messages coming through for that duality card. The first was that idea of the masculine and feminine parts of ourselves balancing. Also, the splitting of timelines and experiences. That's the message. I may still read this to you, but this card is related to that Judgment Day energy, the wheel energy. This is a turning point. And there are a duality of experiences available to us, and what energy you are grounded in this weekend will determine the timeline, the experiences that surround you. And in ways that is true all the time, but that feels, I've got these three cards are on top of each other: the wheel, the tower, and duality. Many meanings, misunderstandings. I am gonna read that card for you. I've also got death and rebirth, which is the eclipse energy itself. Darkness to light. How can we alchemize that darkness to light? Sit with that darkness and alchemize it within ourselves and around us. And sensuality. Feminine wisdom and passion. And then, as I was reflecting on the message for this card and shuffling, we've got grateful optimism at the bottom. Joyous view of the future. This is the energy we need to be in. That's actually your advice right now. Stay in your heart. Stay grateful. Stay optimistic. Sit with the darkness around you and alchemize it into light rather than resisting it or getting pulled into the chaos. And I'll just read the duality card to wrap up. Another abundance card there too. Fortune, wealth, plenty, adjustment. What number are we? 36. Duality, many meanings, misunderstanding. The disciple priestess Magdalena, seems important, lots of that energy going on, sits at the entrance to a cave, a place of retreat. A skull on her lap indicates her spiritual side, whereas the open book represents her scholarly and educated side. Her red dress and white sash beneath are symbols of the divine feminine and the divine masculine combined. Your life is also full of dualities. You are at the same time masculine and feminine, physical and ethereal, fully human and fully divine. This is the Anima Mundi card all over again as well. This card encourages you to explore all these true yet diverse aspects of yourself. It may feel strange to dive into new spiritual practices if you've always been physically orientated. An active masculine approach to life may feel unnatural if you have traditionally been in more reflective feminine mode, but these deeper layers of yourself now long to be expressed. In opening up to the experiences, you will tap important, previously unknown strengths and talents and widen the scope of your spiritual, your personal, and even your professional life. Finally, there is a message of warning in this card regarding the distorted perceptions of Magdalena or Mary Magdalene, who has been historically misunderstood, called a prostitute when she was actually an educated landowner. Be conscious of the ways that you may be misunderstood and be courageous in your intention to live your own life and stand in your truth. Also be aware of any misunderstandings you carry about yourself. Any limiting or judgmental notions must be set aside. A clear understanding of your truth requires you to embrace your divine nature, the most gracious and powerful part of your many-faceted, sparkling identity. I think that beautifully wraps up the message. Another week of very big energy, another week of really powerful opportunities should you choose to surrender, release, and step into your highest timeline. But remembering that will take facing the dark and alchemizing that into the light. So if you've still got work to do there, don't resist it. And go about standing in your own energy from a place of alignment and grounding in your truth, in your light, in your soul purpose, and release those fear of judgment that might hold you back from doing just that. It's Judgment Day, and I'm getting really emotional again. Whew. It's Judgment Day, and the only judgment that matters today, and actually today, like that feels really powerful. Only judgment that actually matters today is, are you turning up in the world as the truest and most beautiful version of you? The judgment that other people have placed upon you no longer matters. It's time to release that and step into creating a life that is grounded in recognizing the most beautiful aspects of you as the divine being that you are. And on that note, I'm going to wrap up and compose myself. I see the light in all of you, even those of you that I do not know. Remember that today. Embrace that today. And let's start creating from that place. Bye, everyone. Sending loads of love from my heart into yours.